4 years ago, I thought I was doing videography the right way. I had a camera, I was posting consistently, and I was watching all of the YouTube videos and tutorials. But here's the truth that I learned the hard way. Knowing how to create videos and actually building a sustainable creative life are two completely different things. And the habits that made the biggest difference for me, they weren't that flashy. They weren't complicated. They were small, boring decisions that compounded over time. So in this video, I want to share some simple habits that will make you a better creator, better videographer, and more confident in 2026. Habit number 1, match your creative work with your values. For a long time, I was creating what I thought I should be creating. I was looking at trends, I was looking at what was getting views, and I was looking at other creators and what they were doing. And it left me feeling really busy and not fulfilled. So I did something simple. I wrote down my top 5 priorities, things like family, faith, wisdom, growth, and community. Then I looked at what my content was actually reflecting, and there was a massive gap. Now that I align my content with what I actually care about, something interesting has really happened. I don't just feel my purpose, I feel more confident. So here's your action step. Write down your top 5 values. Look at your last 10 posts or projects and see if they match up. That gap is where creative burnout starts. But right now you can begin to get some clarity. Habit number 2, do a monthly creator check-in. Fun fact about me, I'm a second generation overanalyzer. I spend a lot of time thinking, processing, reviewing my work, which it can be a good thing, but it can also lead to analysis paralysis. The best way to beat that mentality is with this little concept called auditing. Once a month, you should block off 30 minutes. No phone, no distractions, and ask yourself these 3 questions. What did I actually create this month? What made a difference, either in my life or someone else's life? And what's one focus for next month? You're not trying to focus on 10 different goals here. You just need to pick one. When you try to fix everything in your life all at once, you end up fixing nothing. One clear focus can really start to compound fast. If you're just getting started as a creator, but you feel overwhelmed by what gear to buy, I made a free video starter kit. It's a 1-page list full of beginner-friendly equipment that I have personally owned and tested. Gear like a quality camera, a microphone, and a tripod, all without breaking the bank. You can grab my list for free using the link in the description. Let's get back to the video. Habit number 3, automate the boring stuff. Creativity dies when everything lives in your head. You try to come up with content ideas. You try to keep up with scheduling your posts. You're trying to follow multiple platforms and keep up with all the trends. I used to rely on my own motivation, and that failed me so many times. But my systems don't. Automate those things that repeat in your life consistently so that way your brain is now free to create. Some of my favorite tools right now are ChatGPT for coming up with ideas, Metricool for scheduling posts and keeping up with analytics across all of my accounts. And if you're into business, QuickBooks is an amazing app that is a game changer and handling the financial side of my business. The key here really is to just start small, so automate one thing in your life this week. Habit number 4, start before you're ready. The biggest lie new creators believe is I'm gonna start when I have better gear. Starting early, even messy, that's how skill really compounds. The first YouTube video I ever made was recorded in my apartment on my smartphone. The lighting is not flattering at all. The audio is okay, but what's funny is I was trying to keep my voice down while recording because I didn't want my roommate to hear because I was so embarrassed. I was so nervous trying to make something for myself. For my freelance video business, the oldest videos I could find on my archives on my hard drive was helping someone record a podcast. This clip is the only episode that was recorded, so kind of an epic failure there. And then the first paid gig I was doing was for a nonprofit, doing some interviews for a close friend of mine. I really tried my hardest to make these videos cinematic, but I definitely made some mistakes. Shots are out of focus, scenes are really dark, and for some reason I was obsessed with this behind the scenes shot showing my setup, but clearly my tastes have now changed over the years. But here's the lesson. The gear matters way less than actually putting in the reps. I've done dozens and dozens of free projects either for myself or for other people simply because I wanted to learn faster. Small projects done consistently will beat the perfect ideas that never actually get done. Habit number 5, learn one thing, then apply it that day. Most creators consume content like it's entertainment. They'll sit back, they'll watch, they'll nod their head, they may save the video to watch later, and then nothing actually changes in their life. My rule is simple now. If I learn something, I implement one thing that same day. Some of my favorite creators right now are the Diary of a CEO podcast. I learn a lot about self-development from the variety of experts that Stephen Bartlett interviews. Another one is Alex Hormozi. He is a master at business and teaching people business. I read 3 of his books last year, so I'm kind of obsessed. And Omar El Takori, he is open about his Christian faith and runs a podcast helping people to grow their personal brands. One of my favorite quotes from Omar is this: "The point of learning is mastery." What does that mean? Progress doesn't come from information alone, it comes from taking action. So if you're feeling stuck right now, you could be in this infinite loop of learning instead of actually doing something with it. Habit number 6, talk openly about your creative journey, especially the topic of money. In a previous video, I talked about how you need to find some creative friends if you want to have success long term in this industry. I used to avoid talking about things like content creation, videography, and business. I would avoid talking about the projects I was working on, how much I would charge, how much money I make, or even, the mistakes that I made with clients. Everything changed when I started having honest conversations with people that I know and trust. I started off really small by just getting coffee with people in my industry that I admire. And we would just talk for hours. We would share ideas, ask good questions, dream up plans for the future. And here's what I learned: you don't grow in isolation. You grow by learning from other people's wins, but also their mistakes. So I can't stress this enough. You need to find some creative friends who are at your same level, maybe even just one step ahead of you, and you guys can grow in this space together. Habit number 7 is to play the long game. The idea I'm about to share with you is something that most online coaches won't tell you, and content creators are not going to want to hear this, but because I care about your journey and I've personally experienced the pain that you're going through, I want to share this bit of wisdom with you. Building a creative lifestyle involves delaying gratification. You post before anyone cares. You practice before anyone notices. You show up for free before you show up for a check. Most people are afraid to invest in themselves without seeing that immediate return, but every skill that you build is something that no one can take away from you. I've decided to build my life and my business on the principles of the Bible, and one of my favorite principles actually comes from the laws around farming. 2 Corinthians 9:6 says, "Whoever sows sparingly will reap sparingly, but whoever sows generously will reap generously." I want to encourage you, record that video. Post that idea. Give up your time without asking for anything in return. It's time for you to put in the work by planting the seeds. And you may see a result in a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years. If you're watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, I know I'm capable of more, I want you to listen to that voice. In 2026, you don't need to make this massive leap in your career or your life. You just need a few better habits. So those small decisions that you decide today, that will create the freedom that you want later. My name is Harrison Fredericks. I teach people about videography, content creation, and self-development on this channel. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.